Hi everyone, we are back to record another episode of the end of year newsletter, actually by popular demand. We've been asked
By
to
me,
do this again.
by me.
So thank you to the fans. So yeah, we'll feature this episode in our Physichat channel, which contains a lot of new content that we're going to be focusing on in the new year, which is exciting. So yeah, so it doesn't seem 2 minutes since we did a similar chat last year. So definitely time flies and having fun at Physiquipe. So yeah, here we are again. I'm going to be proposing a few questions to our director, Andy, in aim to reflect on some achievements, challenges, goals, hopefully giving you a bit of an insight and an overlook of the year and future goals for next year. So are we ready for a couple of questions going
Ready
your
to
way?
go. Ready to go.
Okay, so starting off with reflecting on 2024 then. So what would you say has been the key highlights for Physiquipe this year? So were there any standout achievements, milestones for you or for Physiquipe?
I think there's been a lot this year, and I mean, there always seems to be a huge amount. And every year, I feel like I learn quite a lot from doing things. I think internally, there's been a lot of it, as you well know, is that we've changed the structure of people's roles and responsibilities, which is really good. It does also creates challenges in transitional stages like that. Um, But I think really we've developed the senior leadership team. So particularly with Dom going into the head of business development, that role's been massive for me personally, because historically I've always run all of that aspect. And albeit we work together, that's been great for me, and having Dom do that, because he's got such a load of knowledge in the area of clinical applications, but also in business development and sales. That's really massive one. It's going to be good for us as a company. We've got a new member of the team starting, which Dom led the recruitment on in January, so that's really exciting. A big thing as well is a fundamental one is I've always had not challenges or struggles, but we're really defining our mission, purpose, and values. Is I want whatever we say to be genuine, really authentic. And it's not that the other ones haven't been, but I've always been wondering what is it that we're trying to do. So defining those, I've been really happy with, and the fact we've had all the team involved in it. It's been a 6 month process, hasn't it, that we've been working on that now, and albeit we've had them for a little while, we officially launched them on Monday, and I'm really happy with it, because I think you can be skeptical of those things and think they're just cliched words, whereas we've meticulously gone through every single one of them, and said that this is where are we happy with this. And so it's been an ongoing process, but I'm really happy with where we've got to on it. So they're really good ones. Defining internal roles have been great as well, and then relationships. We've got so many really strong relationships with some big clients. So for us as the revenue making part of the business, working with people like Carter and George, Pure Sports Medicine, Pure Physio. I've had catch-up meetings with two of those people today, and it's just really exciting about we're all trying to drive towards that same mission and purpose, doing it in slightly different ways, but coming together on it. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel it's been a transitional year, but in a really positive way. Like I say, the structure, the mission, and the vision has definitely been cemented. So I think that's really sort of going to carry us through to next year, which is great. The you mentioned some slight, bits of experiences of challenges this year. So what sort of challenges did Physiquipe face, and how did we overcome them?
I think it's the same thing as we've talked about there, really. So changes in roles, or even if it's for the greater good and for the positive, it does take time. People get used to those roles, understanding different dynamics, people being managed by different people, and it all works, but it takes time for both the people that are maybe responsible for that, and then also the people feeding into it. And it's a learning thing, and it's not, I don't think it's anything you ever really completely box off in a completely, well, I'm never happy with anything, but maybe that's my problem. Is that it's a learning, you're always learning on how you do things. So I think the changes in roles has been a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
however, absolutely for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
Like for you, which I'll ask you this question in a second, it's just like the rollout of education. Like when I look at how comprehensive our education is for the size of company that we are, and essentially we're an equipment sales company, really, if you break it down from a revenue perspective, the education piece is really exciting, but it's a massive responsibility. So, like, how have you found doing that?
Yeah, I think, like I say, I think we're as a company, I think we always have, and since I've started, I think we've had a really passion and drive behind education. Like I say, we sell products, but I think that's always been ingrained in us. And I think over the last few years, that's definitely been a massive increase and a focus that we've wanted to really roll that education piece out, whatever that may be, online, in person, and so on. And this year we've definitely stepped that up, to the degree of doing our own events, which is the first year that we've done that. So yeah, of course, that comes with some challenges. I think because people still know we're still a very small team. So I think the infrastructure of then trying to roll out something that we're increasing has some of those challenges that you get faced with. But I think we are a really strong team, and we all sort of mix together in the fact of, we support each other in, different aspects of each other's roles, and that might be interlinked, but I think that's how we've got through that. I think that's how we've worked really well, and really trying, we're in a place where we're increasing the education service again next year, still with the same resource really that we have this year. So I think like you say, I think, yeah, there's challenges, but I think it's nice that probably the challenges that we've had have actually become the highlights, really, which, like I say, probably summarizes a little bit of like what you've just said about the highlights, and the challenges really being interlinked with that, isn't it? And so I think that's a good way of reflecting on it.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like, I think even with like the products, whenever you're launching a product, you always underestimate the impact of taking on a new one. This time we stopped working with one, which is pretty much the first time we've really done that of one of our core ones, which you've been a key part of, and that's one of the reasons why your role is a bit different as well. But losing, not working with Lymphosuch anymore, it was a real shame in one side from my perspective, because we worked with them for so long, and we've got real loyalty to these things, but we're just trying to pick what we think's best for us as a company and our clients, and how we can best impact the market. So that's a big one, because for us, from a revenue perspective, that we lose that instantly, so that all goes. And then taking on the strength by numbers products, we do it because, again, we think it's really going to help the market. However, it takes a lot of time to do that, and to build awareness of it, to build trust in that product. We've had great initial feedback. It does just take time to launch these things, and certainly when it's a very competitive marketplace in there, which I think is a really good thing, because not only is it helps keep us on our toes, but also it raises the awareness. So you've got people like Vald and other players in that area do a brilliant job of promoting this area, and they've almost built the market for it. And so it's trying to give different options for people that suit their needs better. So that's, yeah, launching products, stopping working with some, it's that their challenges, which is inevitable really when you're in the game that we are.
Yeah, and one of my questions was actually following on that was sort of how Physiquipe's products or services evolved potentially over this last year. And I think looking back, it's evolved massively, hasn't it, when you think about it? And the fact of those changes that you've just mentioned, stopping working with one product, bringing on a new product, even, the offerings of Shockwave, that was also sort of fairly new coming into this year as well, offering both types of Shockwave. So all that, and then, like I say, the new offerings with our education, I guess, our products with the online Shockwave course. I think really looking back, they're all very exciting movements, but I think we're finishing the year in a really solid place, and happy that those products that we're really invested in, we're motivated with, we've got clear strategy, and the full team are behind that full product portfolio, which I think, yeah, when you look back, it has definitely been yeah, quite a lot, hasn't it, really? It's like I say, as a business and business offerings, I think to go through those changes and what comes with those changes is definitely impactful. But came out the other side, didn't we, Andy?
I hope so. We haven't got to the end of the year
Not
yet,
there
but
yet. A
yeah,
week to
no, we
go.
have. Well, it is. You're always looking, and that is part of my personality type, which it's just me, is that you're always looking, right, what else can we be adding into this? And if we think of before you joined us, we were such a different business. So 5 years ago, we weren't doing ultrasound. We were just doing focus shockwave, and pretty much that was it from BTE. That's the larger purchases. So we've really changed a lot, and it's a very different space, and the demand is really big for all of this stuff. The competition is massive. For clients, I can really imagine it's very overwhelming for them to look at all these products and know how do you know what to bring in on this stuff? Who do you listen to? All sales companies. And that's why for us, being that our mission being the trusted partner for technology and education, that's paramount from my perspective, is that we've got to have complete faith in any product that we've got, that we can really help these people with not only their clinical needs, but the business needs. And it's tools that they're going to just be able to make work. And we've got real conviction in offering that. So it's going to be a continual thing for us. And ideally, you don't want to lose products. It's always adding to them. It's just trying to pick the ones that you think you can add most value to. It is. I think I've come to the realization that there's always going to be significant challenges in any time period, and it's just how you deal with them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So looking back onto this year then, so any specific moments or success of the year that you're most proud of? So could you share an example or a story, or is it a bit hard to pick a certain one?
Story, you've just thrown that in there. So I would say, like we've mentioned loads of other ones, you touched on it very briefly there. I would say as a one thing, I think I'm really proud of the work that you and particularly Dom have been working on the online shockwave course, because that was a remit of yours as well when you joined, about us having our own intellectual property IP. And it's the first time we've done that. So as a distributor, we supply other people's products, whereas this is in conjunction with our suppliers. So Longest in China have been particularly supportive. The guys at Elevation, Piezza and Richard Wolf as well, in terms of the focused system. I just think it's a really quality piece of work. It's online, so it's accessible, all of these things, really affordable, and it's designed to help people. So it's to help not only them clinically, but their business owners. How do they upskill their team? And just the quality of the work, I think, is really good. There's a lot of courses out there which anything that I want us to be associated with, I want to be absolutely top quality. And I believe that that's what this is, from the production to the content to all the quiz and all the certification and those things, and being associated with the British Shockwave Association as well. It's really good, and I'm really proud of that.
Yeah, no, that's nice to hear. And like I say, I think, yeah, I definitely agree. Like, on our end of year meeting as a team, we went for our own personal achievements, and that was definitely a big one of mine. Like I say, it's something that we've spoke about for a long time, but actually to execute it, implement it, you're starting from nothing. And like I say, we are a distributor, and we're not always experienced then that whole journey sometimes. So the fact of actually like bringing something to life, and like I say, Dom was paramount to really driving that was his passion. This is something that he's really been passionate about, and putting it together. So I think like I say, is a proud moment. I think it's definitely a really nice thing to bring into next year, that we're actually going to be developing on that as an IP, and that's only going to increase. So I think it's definitely been like a what do you call it, like a turning point, or a, don't know what you'd say, like with regards to, like I say, it's we are a distributor, but this is definitely been like one of those points of in the year actually bringing in our own thing, like I said, an IP. It's been a great shift, I think, in the fact of us also sort of putting value into that as well.
Definitely, and I think that even the online shockwave course is great. The in-person ones we're doing, I just think it's helping people, and the conversations that I have when I'm on these events. I love going to MIP, where we're running our Manchester-based ones, and it's just great to see people, hear how they're benefiting from it. And I think that's another thing which I've found personally very flattering in terms of people, the people that do want to work with us on this stuff. So we've got some great tutors on that. The other companies that I've mentioned previously that are trusting us to supply them with their tech and education, and then some other organisations which I won't delve too much in now because we're still in their infancy, but have asked to partner with us from, again, part of our purpose. So our purpose being to transform the MSK industry by inspiring growth and bringing people together. And I think it's that bringing people together. I think as a company, we're really strong at doing that, whether it's through courses, podcasts, webinars, just events. That's something which I've always loved doing, even when I was going back to when I was employed before Physiquipe, and having the recognition of other big institutions that want to associate with us to help with that and to be a part of that. I'm really proud of that. And I think that's going to be amazing for the industry and just really about moving away from competitive side of things. It's collaboration over competition. So the work that I'm going to be doing with Andy Hosgood, which we'll touch on later, all of that stuff, that's really what I want to be spending my time on, because I think that's the industry does need a bit of a shake up. And it's good to see other people recognizing that as well and thinking that we can help them with it.
Yeah, no, great. Excellent. So looking ahead then to 2025, what are your goals, priorities for Physiquipe?
So say my goals to some extent is to just follow the plan, which Dom and Emily particularly, of which I know is incorporated, you guys have produced really comprehensive plans. And that's actually maybe one of my other satisfying things is that they both did really comprehensive plans, of which you did on the education and marketing side as well. But I just thought it was all really good. And it's like, actually, we don't need to worry too much about thinking about new stuff, which I always do. Just follow the KPIs, key performance indicators, just do it, just implement it. So certainly for Q1, we're very clear on what we're doing. And it's just like, just crack on with that, which is actually quite nice. You just think, that's it, it's boxed off. Everyone's really clear on what they're doing. Let's just follow that. And you never quite know where things happen. Things always change to some extent, but fundamentally, we've got a very clear plan in terms of what we're doing. I mentioned we've got the new person starting, which is really exciting. He's got a good background in strength and conditioning and sports science, so he's going to be big help for us internally and for sure for the market. And he's a really good guy. So I'm very excited about that and the potential of adding more into that team as well, and how we can really support the nation more, because that's one of the challenges for any company, but for us as well, is that we've got multiple products covering a relatively big country, and being able to facilitate that in the most timely and efficient way is what I would like us to do more. Then more events, as you well know, we've got a significant event schedule. Which what are you looking forward to most about that aspect?
I think with the events, I think it's been, like I say, it's been a really positive year on us implementing our own events to begin with, and the amount that we managed to, sort of put on and facilitate. And then this next year, we're actually going to be sort of expanding out of Manchester. We're going to be going into different locations, which I think is a really good goal that we said that we wanted to do, and we're actually executing that. So Scotland and London are going to be two different areas that we're going to be facilitating these accessible courses and workshops across both shockwave and ultrasound. So I think again, we're stepping up the number. We're working with more different tutors, but all keeping everything that we're doing, facilitating even to the venues, to the tutors that we're working with. It's all really sort of keeping on what our purpose is with, these pieces of education that we feel is going to be the most value to people that we speak to. So yeah, I think that's definitely definitely a priority of mine anyway for, I say, 2025, is making sure that.
Hope so.
I hope so. Glad to hear that.
No, I think it's brilliant. Like what we're doing again is I really do think I do look at it and just think, God, that is a lot of stuff, but it's really good. And it's going back to the partners like that James Noak event we ran at Pure
Yeah.
Sports Medicine. Just some amazing people there, and James doing it on his birthday, which we didn't know until
Yeah.
on the day itself. It's just great, I think, and I think that's it's really exciting those pieces that we can do and working together with people, and it's being a united front on it, which I think is really good. I mean, that feeds into like where I see Physicate being is it's almost like an ecosystem within the MSK industry of bringing in people that aligned and pushing things forward, whether it be Andy Hosgood with his business coaching, Andy Goldman with marketing, LinkedIn, Rehab Gurus, Steve Miller, Andrew McCauley, all of these people, all really trying to do good things and all working really hard to do it. And then you've got the clinics that are doing it in that area as well. So building that framework and network to be able to help promote best practice, that's where I see it going for Physiquipe. And I'm not even sure exactly how that all works commercially or anything there. I just believe in that as something that we should be doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, like I say, that mission that we're standing by and really sort of driving, like transforming the MSK industry. I think, like I say, bringing people together and, like I say, it's really complementing that with everything that we're doing across the board to how we're offering servicing, how we're offering education, how we're offering product support, finance support, and then, like I say, it's just contributing to them opportunities for everyone else who was collaborating, doing their thing, but like I say, it's complementing each other and helping each other grow, isn't it, and achieve everyone's goals really at the end of it, which I think, yeah, definitely looking back, I think, well, looking to 2025, it's like I say, those collaboration as well that we've got in the diary, the amount that we're going to be working with other people on really exciting things, like you mentioned about Pure Sports Med. We've got another event with them. We've got Royal Society of Medicine, Simply MSK, all these great, organisations, whether they are product services or educational services, we're all coming together to offer like a bigger and better thing, which I think is really important. And hopefully, like I say, that's what we're going to be concentrating on and reflecting on this time next year, isn't it? That we will
Definitely. No, and I've got real faith in that. I think like not only because you've put together a really good plan of what we're doing and all of those things, and we've got a lot of this stuff booked in already. We just believe in it as as an entity in terms of what it works like. So I'm really excited for next year. It's like I love Christmas. I love having some time off, and it can always be a pain coming back in January and you're thinking, oh God, here we go again. However, I'm not like that at all this year. I'm really looking forward to having a break. However, it's like I think maybe because it's that clarity of what we're doing, and it's like we know what we're doing. Straight in, exciting, new starters, new events, all booked in, really good stuff. It's really exciting.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so last couple of questions then. So obviously we mentioned a lot of, our customers that we work with, partners, generally across the business. Is there a message you'd like to share with them guys from Physiquipe to enter the new year?
Yeah, I suppose it's for everyone. The underlying thing of what I want to give the confidence to the market is just we've got to go for it with everything, all of us together pushing forward to really go for it. The MSK industry particularly has been undervalued, undercharged for so long, whether it's private medical insurance or not. And now is the time for us to be really saying, look, we've got to charge what we're worth. We've got to invest in the right things. People want to be looked after, and let's take that responsibility and say, no, look, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to get in. Yeah, of course, our kit's a part of that from our message, but fundamentally, just value your profession, value what you've done, and have confidence and belief in the service that you're offering, and also that people want to be looked after. It's been a massive shift away from the NHS, and I know that I can only speak for myself completely genuinely on it, because as anyone can, But whenever I go and have a treatment, I want to be looked after. I'm happy to go and do more sessions. I want to be cared for in that right way, and don't worry about saying to people, this is what it's going to cost, this is what it is. Believe in what you're doing, and if you don't believe in it, speak to your team, speak to us. We want to help with that. We've got to have that belief in anything that you're doing, and it'll just make your service so much better. So I think that's a message, is really value what you're doing. Have a clear goal in terms of what you do want to achieve. Speak to people. Don't be afraid of engaging with industry. I can only speak for us as well on that one, but we really want to help. We want to do it together with you. So just let's talk about it together. Let's explore different ways. If we can have those conversations, that's all we want. The only thing that can be frustrating from our side is if you don't have consistent communication or know what you're trying to achieve, we can't help. So engage with us. Even if it's not to do with our tech, we've got a lot of insight in terms of the market and so on. So let's think more collaboratively and not like an us and them. That's done my nutting for the industry for so long, and it's just like we just don't want to do it anymore. So it's like, look, how are we doing this together? Let's do it. Let's go for it. The news is, I barely watch it anymore because I just think it is so full of nonsense and not the truth of the matter. And it's like, how do we move past all of those scaremongering things and really just go for it? Because there's never been a better opportunity to really invest in things. I know that the national insurance, those things don't help, but it's not going to change. Let's just crack on with it, and let's figure out ways to move forward with things. And we want to be your partner on that journey.
Excellent. No, I think that's great. Okay, so we're going to just do a couple of questions to you, Andy, as yourself. So a little bit more insight.
It's me. All right. Yeah. Right. Who have I been?
So personal questions, then. It just doesn't sound right. Not going to be just rolling off random questions. But just with regards to owner director of Physiquipe. So what inspires you to keep leading Physiquipe, driving its mission forward? What's your philosophy, the belief? What motivates you?
It motivates me. So you asked for a story, so I'll think of a story around this one. I think it's like for this morning, I was on a call with Chris Hedges from Pure Physio, and just that inspires me, having that conversation with him, talking about the plans of what they're doing, and they're really positive about how we've helped them with Shockwave in this instance, and talking about their growth plans. They are aligned in terms of they really want to push things forward. They're expanding. They've recently been acquired, and it just sounds a great place to work. Chris is great to deal with. Finn Robinson's been great to deal with. We know a lot of the team there, Dom, Mehmet, Jem, Faraz, all of these people, and they're just doing really interesting things, and I love being a part of it. That's really what gives me inspiration, is the fact that we can impact and support these people on their massive journeys. And that really, honestly, I was buzzing after that call, and we were just talking about things. Then I've done an interview with Simon Devane, who's the CEO at Pure Sports Medicine. Again, the same sort of thing. And that's what I enjoy doing, is listening to these people, learning from them and being inspired by what they're doing. And I genuinely feel flattered that we can really help them with it. And I know that we are, and we can. It's still, you do reflect on it and think, God, yeah, it's really great that we can have a positive impact on this. So that definitely is as well. And then just internally, I love all the team that we've got in place. And that motivates me. I've always wanted Physiquipe to be a great place to work and a great company to work with. And that's, nothing changes on that. So yeah, you could be self-employed, you could be employed, but I like creating something that I really believe in and having people that are aligned with that. And you guys motivate me all the time just by the different ideas and energy and things like that. So so it's working with people internally and externally that are aligned in trying to do things in the industry and being really positive.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, that's it. It is really positive. And then hopefully, like say next year, then, that sort of outlook is going to continue. So yeah, that sounds good.
What inspires you?
What inspires me? Oh.
Don't take the piss and say me, because I know you're blind.
So close to say it. It was you, Andy. Yeah, what inspires me. So I think it always stems for me. I think I'm clinician background, so I think it's just sort of inbuilt really that, helping people, facilitating people. And of course, with Physiquipe, I'm heavily integrated with like the education and providing that. But again, for me, I keep using that word, but like facilitating it and allowing, access to that, for clinics and, for them to be treating patients in the best possible way that they can. Then, for us to be able to support that whole aspect of it, whether it is, we're introducing them to something that they might not have been aware of through education, or we'll be able to help them purchase something to be able to for them to integrate into their clinic, to help achieve better in their business, to help make money in their business, to help provide a better service. I think, like you say, that sort of wheel, really, I think that's what drives me, is because everything that we do seems to just stems into helping people. Like say, we want to support, we want to facilitate anything that is going to be a better outcome for people, whether that's business or whether that's clinical. But generally, I think because that's sort of ingrained with us, I think that's a constant sort of cog that turns. And then anything that we sort of work on, new projects or ideas that we have, I think it's always referring to that. We have best interest in our customers, always on a genuine personal level. Like you say, it's not us and them. It's we want to be that support, and it's however you look at that, but we are doing it together. And I think, like I say, facilitating that as much as possible in anything that we do, I think is a great motivation to keep doing it. And I think, like I say, inspired to put on more events, to offer more services, to be able to offer more options, making it easier and more accessible for people in the healthcare industry. I think is definitely what I'm always thinking about on a day to day, just with what we work on and what we're always driving to do.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, no, it's I think it's so important to have people that are invested in what they're doing and have that feeling about this is making a difference. Because if you don't feel like you're making a difference, then you're definitely not going to want to be doing your job.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so as a leader, what's the one key lesson from 2024 that you'll carry forward into the new year?
I'll keep this one short and sweet, because you did give me a sneak preview of this particular question on this one. So I think for me is, and I was actually just chatting about this with Simon Devane from Pure Sports Med, is that I want to pass on ownership to the team and don't feel guilty about it. When I started, it would just be me doing everything, and I still feel guilty about taking holidays, about loads of things, about not doing this anymore, not doing that. Whereas your answer there was great, because it's just showing that you're so invested in doing that piece of it. You're going to do a much better job than me in that anyway. And so just get the right people in and support them, but essentially pass it on. And it's probably a message more for myself and for other leaders, I guess, is just don't feel guilty about it. Because Simon said the same thing. He said, I do feel guilty about passing this stuff on. When the reality is, and I gave the story about Emily, our general manager, just like, Andy, just give it to me and just don't get involved. And it's like, brilliant. In no way does that offend me. And you're very good at giving honest feedback on things as well. And it genuinely, it doesn't offend me on these things. It's like, actually, it relieves me. I feel less stressed, because I know I'm genuinely trying to do good things, and I know I've got the right support from you guys. So, and everyone means well with whatever they're saying. So yeah, pass on ownership and don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah, nice. No, I like that one. Excellent.
You can ask me how I'm getting on in the Q1 review meeting on that.
Yeah, we could do a Q1 review, end of Q1 newsletter.
Yeah, we may not put that one out depending on what the answer is.
Okay, so we're going to sort of round it up now. It's been really great to hear, sort of just a reflection, but also, like I say, covering some goals and sort of what we are looking to achieve and what we are really focusing on going into next year as a business. So if you could describe 2024 in one word, what would it be? And it has to be one word because I know people push the luck on these questions.
Transformational.
Oh, excellent. I think we've said that word a few times in the chat,
No, we
actually.
have.
So I think that's a good one, yeah.
Well, I think it's to give context of that. So in our mission, so transforming the MSK industry, and you have imposter syndrome when you're saying that, because it's like, well, who are you? How are you going to transform the MSK industry? Whereas breaking it down is, I think what we're doing is that. It is again getting people, inspiring growth, bringing people together, putting on events, giving confidence in the market, challenging people. One of our values is embrace profitability, and I think that's something which a lot of businesses need to be more aware of. Is it's okay to make a profit. You need to make a profit to actually push your business forward, us included. Everyone else is like, we all need to make money to grow, invest, develop, add more things in. And so I think it's important for us to be challenged and challenging on all of these things. So I think defining that as our mission and being able to say it with authenticity and confidence is really important. Expanding the educational efforts, I think, is making a massive impact for the industry. The new partnerships that we've got in place, our internal team in terms of how we've structured that. So yeah, it's been a transformation internally, whereas it's transformational is, I think, from a global perspective I think there has been a shift with the way we're perceived. We've had loads of great feedback about all the things that we're doing, which is good. Me with my new podcast has been great in getting out and speaking to other business leaders and insights. So I feel like this year we have made a step. It's kind of a massive step, sort of diagonally, if that makes sense, into a slightly different realm of what we're doing. And so it's transformational.
Yeah, I like that. Very good. Excellent. So yeah, I think we have covered. I think we've done a good reflection, and I think we've spoke quite good for next year and all very excited. I think, like I say, we've been working on next year. I feel like for the last few months, I feel like we're in a really good position. And like I say, it's sort of, I feel like we're already there, sort of, in a way. So yeah, I think it's been good again to chat through it with you, Andy. Like I say, hopefully we'll get the demand for doing another one next year.
I actually really enjoy it. I like doing it. It's nice to reflect. That's another thing which when I do the presentations, and I don't think anyone reflects enough on what they've done.
Yeah.
And as I said in the other one, I'm going on a bit now, but anyway, it's like when I reviewed a presentation that I'd done from a couple of years ago, and I saw how much change we've done internally. It's really good. So that's another thing that I would say to other, not just business owners, just anyone, to reflect on how far you've come in your journey, because no doubt people look at stuff with a negativity bias and it's like, God, I've not done much. Whereas when you actually look at it, even if it's just subjective things, you will definitely realize that you've done way more than you think you have. So really important to reflect. So yes, I will be here even if I'm on my own next year.
Well, I'm sure you'll do a good job still, don't worry. But no, we'll definitely, look forward to next year, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. So I know that we're going to be still seeing each other, but I want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everyone. Thank you to everyone who's engaged with us over the year. And it's been really good. It's been challenging, however, and that's for us as a country as well. So yeah, happy Christmas. Have a great new year, and we can't wait to work with you all.
Yeah. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Thanks, Katie. Bye-bye.